All right, thank you very much. So this is the Breaking Bad theme of IoT. By the way, at the Expo Center, if you want to get a shirt like this, we only have a limited supply, but I'll tell you how you can get one of these if you come visit our booth down in the Expo Center. And if you're a judge, you got an inside track, so just let you know. All right, I'm Robert Lutz. I'm the Director of Product Management at Systech, and this presentation is going to be fun because we're going to do an actual live demo of an application from scratch, a live demo. I think you should get extra credit for doing live demos here. So we're going to go for broke here, which is good because in a commercial industrial application, you need something that's going to be reliable and running well. So first of all, who is Systech? Systech, we've been around for 30 years, so that's a great thing. We've been doing SCADA, then M2M, and IoT. We shipped over 1 million devices, and we've been doing very successful, especially in the financial markets, ATMs, vending machine, kiosks, things like that. So we're able to tie the hardware and software together, along with security, with to keep things on the internet safe and keep the IoT, the things of IoT, safe. It all starts with the hardware, and we're able to do that with a SysLINK Gateway, which is just an IoT hub that can talk to just about any device and communication protocol that exists. It does this with the tiny option cards that plug in for the different interfaces. So you need Zigbee or Z-Wave or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, any combination you might want, even simultaneously. These are the kinds of things that plug into the gateway. So the flexibility is fantastic because you're able to create this thing right off the shelf, and you're able to create this thing in just a few minutes. So the option card just snap in and you're up and running. The whole gateway supports over-the-air updates for firmware and software downloads. Everything can be managed remotely for large deployments, thousands of gateways simultaneously. Everything's secure using communication standards, such as for the internet, for example, we're using HTTPS and OAuth for authentication. At the device level, things are secure with the core technology built into the devices themselves. Now, today's demo, we're using this gateway here, which is tied in with cellular and has Z-Wave devices. And it also supports failover automatically, so if you have broadband or something like that, it could fail over automatically to cellular, for example. This is an edge gateway and an IoT connectivity solution, so it's actually doing a lot of great things. So our hardware has been in production for several years. It's been proven to be quite successful. But the other part of the solution is the software. You can't have a solution without hardware and software working together. So we support local edge computing, so basically data analytics at the local level. We do this with a technology called SysSCRIPT. This is a beginner-friendly scripting solution that anybody can use to create a solution for the Internet of Things. When I say anyone, I really mean anyone. You don't need to be a software engineer. You don't need to know programming. Anybody can create these kinds of scripts. And some of you have already done that in our booth we have outside at the reception after this event. Feel free to come by. You can actually create a script. If you don't have time tonight, come by our booth at the Expo Center. You can do a script there. It's super, super easy. So actually, we're going to be doing one here in this demo as well, which is pretty good because we only got 10 minutes, so I've got to do a full application in this short amount of time. So creating and putting together all the solutions or all the components for an M2M solution, getting it up and running, traditionally requires months and months of development time. You need hardware to be designed and built and certified, and software needs to be created and debugged. It all takes time and money to do that. So with SysLINK, with the hardware, with those plug-in modules, and with SysSCRIPT software, with this drag-and-drop software program, which we'll do in just a moment, this month-to-month development time can reduce to minutes, so months to minutes. And that's a real game changer, right? This is the stimulus that's going to help us grow to 50 billion devices by the 2020 or beyond. It needs to be simple, it needs to be approachable, it needs to be doable in a very short amount of time. So today, there are over 13 billion connected devices. That's a lot of devices. And all these devices are generating data. In all, there are more than 2 exabytes of data generated worldwide every day. And that's only going to grow as IoT becomes more and more popular. So that's a lot of data to be handled by the cloud. It really does not scale well as IoT balloons up to large quantities. So this is where fog computing enters the picture. So what is fog computing? Picture this. The cloud is sort of up there doing its thing relative to data analytics. It's remote. It's abstract. The fog, on the other hand, is close to the ground, close to the edge, close to where things are actually happening, where things are getting done. So the fog is not a set of powerful servers distributed up there, but rather weaker, more dispersed computers, the kind of computers that are actually built into devices and gateways and hubs like the gateway we have up and running here. So fog computing extends the cloud computing paradigm to the edge of the network. So fog basically equals edge computing. And the SysLINK Gateway supports edge computing at its very core. So what are we going to do to demonstrate this? I was coming up with something, what can we do in a short amount of time? So what I have here is a great application, actually. It's one that can save a hotel chain thousands of dollars in energy management and costs. This is HVAC control. You might have seen some of these in some hotels. You have a thermostat with a motion sensor, but that's not going to cut it. That really is not the best, most effective way, because you can imagine you leave a hotel room, that's fine, there's no motion, the HVAC turns off. But imagine you go to bed, right? You sleep. If there's no motion, the HVAC turns off. That's not a good thing. So you need something a little more sophisticated than just a simple motion sensor turning things on and off. Also, this kind of thing, you can't rely on internet connectivity, because what happens if your internet connectivity is lost, which happens a lot at a hotel. Imagine all the HVAC systems just staying status quo, and that some are off, some are on. That's going to generate a lot of complaints, and it's not going to generate the energy cost that hotel is searching for. So you really need to have local processing going on, edge computing, local data analytics. So let's switch over to this demo and get it up and running. All right, switch to single screen. There we go, apply. I'll keep those changes, sure. All right, so we have the demo on this browser. So this is just a standard browser. Let me get it down to a regular size here. It shows the scripts that are actually running on this gateway here. But I can actually create another script from scratch. But let me show you what we have first of all. We have a door open. We have a representation of a hotel door room, which is a contact switch on it. We have an HVAC fan. I don't think the judges can see this. That's important. Here we go. There's the HVAC fan. They have a door over here. So there's one script that does something interesting when the door opens, in that when the door opens, you want the HVAC system to turn on immediately. And then, but we also want to start a timer, because there's a difference between the door being open and the guest leaving the room versus the door being open and the guest entering the room. And the way you determine that is with motion. So I didn't want to do a motion sensor up here because there's too many people here. So motion sensor wouldn't be reliable. So instead, I have just a wireless push button here, which is going to represent motion for us in this application. So we have a motion detected script, which also turns on the HVAC and also turns off the timer. So essentially, when the door opens, we start a timer that counts down. If there's no motion in the room after the door closes after a period of time, then the HVAC system actually does turn off. But if there is motion after the door opens and closes, then the HVAC system stays on. So that's why we have to have a sophisticated script to do that. That's why this is a real commercial application, not just a simple algorithm. And we're going to create one final script, and that's what happens when the HVAC timeout actually expires. We want the HVAC system to turn off. So I'm going to create that script from scratch right here. So I'm going to create a new script. We'll call this timeout. And this is how easy it is to create a script. You basically get spoon-fed the only valid things that you can't make a syntax error on. So in this case, we're going to trigger on a device, the device being the motion timeout timer, which is a virtual timer within the gateway. So in the timeout timer state is, in this case, we'll say expired. So the timeout expired. So what do we want to do if that trigger occurs? What we want to do is turn off the HVAC. So we find the HVAC here. Let's turn the switch to off. So that is super simple, as you can sort of see. You don't need to be a programmer to create this. This is in the cloud still. This is just a browser. So I'm going to click Update Gateway. That compiles the script, sends it out to this actual gateway right here using the cellular, and I'm going to activate it. They always default inactive, so I'm going to go ahead and activate it. So now we have 3 scripts running in this gateway. One that deals with the open door, and let's just see if this works. So you can see when I open the door, the fan turns on. That's as if it was already on, and then the user leaves. I'm not hitting the motion at all. So the timer timed out and turned off the HVAC. So the guy was leaving the room, HVAC turned off. This was very short for the demo. If I do it again, Now I've simulated motion, this HVAC system will stay on. So that's basically it. You can see how easy it is to create this kind of scripting. It's very easy to add devices and the security, and this is how we're going to get to the 50 billion devices when you could do these kinds of things, hardware and software, in this kind of easy way. Thank you very much.